Well, good morning, everyone. Red here with Big Red's Barbecue and Wine. It's a cold northwest morning here, but you know what? We got brisket on the menu and picked up a flat the other day at the local grocery store. And man, it's just a great time to get a little brisket going on the pit barrel cooker. So we're going to have some fun today. So let's get this thing going and we'll enjoy it tonight for dinner. Here we go. So we have our brisket flat here. Picked this up at I think it was Winco. Had kind of a sale here going on. It must have been after Labor Day sale or whatever. But it's only not the best quality, but hey. So brought it home, threw it in the freezer for I don't know, probably 30 minutes or so, just to kind of tighten up that fat on there and even the blood too. I can kind of wipe it off pretty easy, as you can see. Just grab a towel, make sure you get it all, or as best you can. That way it makes trimming that thing pretty dang easy. So with the flat, you really don't have to do too much trimming. I do like to kind of take off that outside layer, that blood layer, so it kind of takes that flavoring out and just kind of lets it, be available to absorb my seasonings a little bit more, maybe my W sauce. So I'll just kind of speed up here a little bit, but give it a quick trim. Nothing too fancy. Got a little short in that one area, but I don't know, just making it look good. Get rid of that gray stuff on the edges. I don't know what that is, but it sure doesn't look appetizing. And then get all the little loose stuff too. And then see here, I got my ingredients. I got my W sauce, my pepper, my salt, just a kosher salt, nice quality kosher salt. And I'll start with my Worcestershire sauce as my binder. This is a nice, kind of my secret that I do in all my comps too. I'll just kind of get that W sauce going, rub it in real good, flip it over, do both sides. It's just a wonderful flavor for beef, I think. So, then I move on to my salt, and if you notice, I'm salting the bottom first, the back or the bottom of it. So I'll get my kosher salt out. And, I put it on pretty heavy. I've never really had my meat too salty, so I'm a believer in seasoning your meat pretty good. The people. We went to Salt Lake City and they don't season their meat super well there, I noticed. So I'm always having to ask for salt and pepper. But yeah, I like my meat well seasoned. I just think it brings out the flavor and enhances it. So then here I'm putting on the black pepper, once again, nice and heavy. Nice good coating of pepper. Make sure you get the sides of it. You want to make sure that it's all fully seasoned as best you can. That's kind of how to do it. And flip it over. Same thing with the back side. Throw your kosher salt on there, nice and heavy, especially in the fat area. And then I'll do the pepper just the same. Give it a good pat. Make sure it sticks in there pretty good. If you leave it loose, you can. It'll eventually kind of gloss over, glaze over and be fine. But heck yeah, push that stuff in there. Then I'll give it a quick shot of garlic powder. Garlic. I just think that the SPG, the salt, pepper, garlic. I mean, that's my staple for almost any meat. You know, salt, pepper, garlic. I mean, good grief, everybody's got an SPG brand out there, so it's there for a reason. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and fire up the pit barrel cooker, using for this cook. We'll put half the briquettes in there. Just kind of and I'll light that thing, stuffing some of the bag in there from another bag I used, along with some Domino's napkins. And then that seems to be my success to getting that in there. Starting it up. Okay. It's kind of my coals before I'm adding it to the basket. It's only been, you know, these light up nice and quick, that Kingsford. So I'll just toss them in there. You know, if I have the basket outside, I can get it pretty much, you know, distributed where I want to be. You know, and then for this brisket, you know, throw in your couple things of wood chips or your wood chunks. Brisket, man, it can take the smoke. The beef can take the smoke, that's for sure. And here I just got my fireman glove in and lowering it into the old bottom of the barrel there. Rack in, and I'll just kind of keep it heating up while I'm getting my brisket ready to come out and throw it on there. Nice side view for people who try to move it up and down. Boom, there it is. It's all ready to go. PBC's warmed up. Might have to take a bar out to get this thing in there. There's just a quick brisket flat. So I'll throw this puppy in there. I already got one thermometer in there. This one I was gonna do fat side up, but the last second I said, you know what? I'm gonna play with this a little bit and throw the fat side down. So I turned it over at the last second and then threw it on there. We'll see how it does. I mean, half the fun of barbecue is backyard barbecue. It's just kind of playing around with it, seeing what works. And if you haven't tried something, give it a shot. You know, that's kind of the fun about it. You know, you're not competing. You're just playing around, and you know, something might turn out really well that you didn't know or normally do. And it breaks it up. I mean, you could do the same thing every time, but you know, they get boring a little bit. So, all right, so I was in there a couple hours, I think 3 hours. Up to 160 was the temperature. So I pulled it, put it on some butcher paper, and I put some avocado oil down, just a quick spray. And then here I'm folding it up. It was a pretty cold morning out there. But anyway, so I'm wrapping it up in the old butcher paper and leaving the fat side down again. So here we go. Now back out at the smoker, throw this baby on. And I think when I put it back in, after pulling it out and moving it around, the temperature was about 153. I mean, it was at 160 for quite a while, probably 30, 45 minutes. So I pulled it like at the end of that stall. So just getting everything back together here. Get my bars in, got my temperature gauges in there. One's going in the meat and one's going on the outside, just to keep an eye on the ambient temperature inside that smoker or the cooker. That's my hound dog, Duke. All right, So now it only took like another hour. It popped up to 322. I ended up adding a few more coals to it. They were just starting to wear down, or temperature was starting to go down a little bit. So I threw some more coals on it. Got up to 207, pulling it at 207. Smelling fantastic at this point. So I got my cooler right next to me. The towel in there. I just wrapped it with the towel. I pulled it, thrown in the towel from the cooler. And, man, letting that thing wait till dinner. And it's been a couple hours now, so pull it out. That's the final product right there. Brisket flat. So getting everything aside, and we get it cut up here. Using my bowie knife. At this point, my mouth is starting to water and my taste buds are going crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, just slicing it up here. The smoke ring's fantastic. Oh, man, this is really, really nice. So, just cutting it real thin. That Bubba knife allows me to cut it super thin. I'll show you a picture of the bend here in a sec. There we go. Not looking too bad, huh? Fat side down, 1/4 inch. I think if I had to do this one again, I'd have a little bit thicker. I'd leave the fat cap a little more just because of the low grade, because it was a select. That way, I think it would just help out with it. Oh, a little taster for the chef. All right. There it is. Looking pretty good. Bend test is good. Pull test is fine. Nice little bark, and you can see that fat cap too. I like tasting a brisket after it's done. So that's my brisket, my weekday brisket. I just went ahead and, picked up a cheap brisket. It was a brisket flat at local, it was a Winco. It was only a select grade. I don't know if I go with the select again or maybe inject it a little bit more. To be honest, it could have been a little bit more juicy. It was still very tasty, and I can use it, for not only dinner that night, but for maybe tacos the next night, or heat it up with some eggs in the morning. So many uses for it. So grab that brisket weekday, fire up your PBC, and then cook it up. It tastes fantastic. It's really easy to do, and you could do it within a couple hours on your PBC, and you won't regret it. You really won't. So, hey, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would, like and subscribe, and until next time, have a wonderful afternoon.